Hi friends, and welcome to the Healthy Beyond 40 show. I'm Michelle, mom of 4 and military wife, and I'm passionate about helping women get healthy from the inside out so they can feel better and live their best life. Do you feel like you're struggling to lose weight and get in shape? If you're ready to develop healthier habits, exercise consistently, and lose weight sustainably, then you're in the right place. I combine my expertise from my doctorate in physical therapy to my experience as a health coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher to bring you actionable steps for a healthy lifestyle. No magic pill here, so lace up those shoes and get moving. All right, so today I'm going to be talking about sometimes why trying to do it alone might be the thing that's keeping you stuck. So often we think that we shouldn't need help. We should know how to do this. We should know how to eat. We should know how to exercise, that we should know all this. And notice I keep using the word should. So if you hear yourself saying that a lot of times there is shame and guilt and other feelings that go along with that. So for example, when I wanted to learn how to do a pull-up, even me as a personal trainer with my doctorate in physical therapy, I wanted to learn to do a pull-up before I turned 40. I got a pull-up program. I let someone else teach me, and there was just a few little things in there that I learned that helped me to be successful. So I needed that outside support, even within my area of expertise. And also the other things I've done for myself, like getting a coach. So when I started my business a few years ago, it's pretty common when you're in the entrepreneur space that people get business coaches or go through some coaching program or get some help to learn how to grow their business, right? Because we don't have a background in marketing or business. And a lot of times when you're in coaching, you're also working on your mindset. It's a huge piece. So I feel like a lot of that is really normalized in business to have a coach. But when it comes to our health, maybe just when it comes to our life, how we're a mom or a wife or our job, getting a coach sometimes isn't looked on as necessary. We might think that we shouldn't need that. We should know how to do some of this stuff. Or I shouldn't be feeling this way or having these problems. Again, those shoulds are coming up. So from having my own business and seeing how people use business coaches, I have continued that. So even though right now I haven't had a business coach for a little while, I still have a coach for myself. So a coach for being a mom. I could think of, I should know how to do this. I can read books. I could do a course. But having a coach to help me when I'm feeling stuck with my children has been so helpful. Now, my coach is also a homeschooler, and I'm homeschooling my kids. So having a coach when I'm having some problems within homeschooling is so helpful. So instead of thinking I should know how to do this and I should be able to do it on my own, I have that support I need. And my coach is also faith-based. So having someone that brings it back to why I'm doing things and the most important things in our lives is so helpful. So I want you guys to realize that you don't have to do things on your own, because a lot of times that is exactly what is keeping us stuck. And we really need that support. We need that outside wisdom to keep us moving forward. So maybe you have tried all these different diets, all these different plans, and you feel like you're broken. You feel like if you would just try hard enough, you could figure it out. We think that we don't need help. We are independent and we can do it all ourselves. But I encourage you that if that is keeping you stuck, that is that piece that you need to change. And I just want to take a quick break to share something that I personally love and use most of the day. So I really love Organifi's products. I really like their green juice and their gold. So if you're feeling run down, stressed, or struggling with cravings, the green juice is really a simple way to start your day strong. It's packed with ashwagandha, one of my favorite herbs, and an herb that I see pop up a lot with perimenopause and menopause. And it really helps to balance cortisol and helps us to combat everyday stressors from a cellular level. I like to mix mine with some unsweetened almond milk, maybe some water and extra protein powder, and I have this in the morning. Also, for winding down at night, I love Organifi's Gold. It's a go-to nighttime drink, especially when my cycle is approaching. It has calming herbs like turmeric, reishi mushroom, ginger, and lemon balm, which help calm our nervous system and helps lower our inflammation and relax our body. And it's possible that it can also help improve sleep. Again, I like to mix mine with a little unsweetened almond milk, and it's really like a cozy treat. And you guys can use the code HEALTHY20 to save 20% off your first order. You guys can use this code anytime you reorder, and I've been able to use it with other discounts they have too. So you can also check the description down below for a direct link. So as I talk about this today, I want to really talk about 4 different areas to think about. So this first part is that you don't know what you don't know. So sometimes we think that we should know stuff, or maybe we do have a lot of knowledge, but sometimes we're still missing some information because we don't have the outside perspective. So especially when you're trying to change something like how you eat, how you move, how you take care of your body, there's a whole world that you may not see. Because sometimes we're so narrowly focused that we can't see what's truly in front of us. For example, I have seen people that they think they're eating healthy. And of course, if we compare them to most of America, they might be eating more healthy. But what's holding them back might be these small treats or all these extra snacks, or maybe that extra wine on the weekend, or maybe that 3-day weekend where they're eating more and it adds up and they're just not seeing that. So it can be helpful to have someone point out some of these blind spots and have someone to talk something through. Because also sometimes I've seen people who think they need to do something and they really don't. So one of my clients I'm working with now, we're off to a really good start, and she wanted to really change up the way that she was doing breakfast. But when we looked at the whole of what she was doing, the changes she was making, like, hey, let's take this slow. I don't think you need to do that yet. Like, let's stick with these things first. And then if we're not getting those results, then we can add that. Because sometimes we want to do like too much, too fast. And then that actually sets us up for failure because it's too overwhelming. So sometimes a coach can really help you to zoom out and see the bigger picture. Another piece that I see really change for my clients is that the accountability can really change the game. So when you're on your own, it's really easy to negotiate with yourself and let yourself off the hook. Like we recently had Easter recently, and maybe you ate way more sweets or candy than you wanted. And you sort of make this excuse or negotiate to yourself, and you're sort of off the hook because you really have no one that you have to check in with. And I'm not saying that we should check in with someone and feel guilty, but we have someone that we have that accountability with that comes from compassion and kindness. I am never going to shame anybody. But sometimes just knowing that we're going to have to talk about that really can change the way things work for us. And so when you're tired and the day's getting away from you and suddenly you're skipping a workout or ordering takeout again and you're stuck in these bad cycles because you just have no one to check in with. And some people just do really well with having that little bit of accountability. That brings you back to why you're doing this. Why is this important? That can help you work through some of those stumbling blocks that you're stuck with. Maybe there's an emotional trigger you're not seeing. Maybe there's a visual trigger that you need help changing so that you're not like seeing this candy and taking it. So having that coach or supportive community can really remind you of your why. Our why is so important. And it can also give us that motivation to keep going, to keep encouraging us. And a lot of times with accountability, it also helps us to have more systems in place. So I have a system for my morning routine. I have a system the way I record these podcasts and set everything up. I have a system for how I do laundry in my house. I have a system for how I do grocery shopping. And even if you don't have a system, you have some system that you're using. You just may not really like the system you're using and it might feel chaotic. But there's usually some pattern, something that we keep doing, some type of system. And so having that accountability with a coach, having that other person, it can help us to have stronger systems in place to make life easier and more peaceful. There's a quote from James Clear that says, "We don't rise to the level of our goals, but we fall to the level of our systems. So we really need to have these systems and these habits in place and that accountability to check back in with ourselves. So having a coach or someone that you can be accountable to can be a system. It can be that feedback loop. The other problem I commonly see with so many people when they're doing it alone is they don't have a real plan. It's just a mismatch. They might get on, a certain workout or something for a few weeks and then they're off of it. And then they're sort of like looking for something else because that didn't work, even though that may not be the problem. But we have so much information out there in podcasts, in YouTube videos, on Instagram, on Pinterest, that we mishmash things together and we don't have a real plan that we can stick with. So having a plan that actually fits your life, where you're not guessing, where you know what you need to do each day and you have ways to tweak it as life goes on. Maybe like you're going to be on a different schedule for summer versus the school year. So we need a real plan in place that helps to create safety in our body. It helps to make it very clear what we're working on versus being chaotic. And if I have to look up a workout every day, that's like extra time and that's extra stress. And then there's going to be some days I don't have the time to figure out what workout I'm doing versus having a very clear plan and knowing what workout that you're doing. The same thing, if I don't really know what I'm eating for breakfast, like, is this healthy? Is this not? I don't know if this is good for me. And I'm just eating whatever, like some days might be better than others. But if I have a very clear plan of these are some few breakfasts that I can eat and they're healthy, they're going to fuel my body, they're going to start my day off good, and we have that plan in place, then we're going to be so much more successful. And I encourage you that if you've been trying to do this whole get healthy thing on your own and you feel like you're spinning your wheels, that you're not alone. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck is because they're trying to figure it out all by themselves. But the truth is having someone in your corner makes all the difference. And that's why I offer a totally free coaching call. It's laid back. We can chat on phone or video. There's no pressure at all. We're just going to talk about your goals, what's been getting in the way, and what kind of support you actually need. Most of my clients tell me the number one thing that's been helping them isn't just the workouts or the nutrition tips, even though they're grateful for those. It's really that is support and accountability. Knowing someone's checking in on them, cheering them on, and helping them to adjust when life happens. And then they're actually able to stay consistent and see those results that they want. So if you're tired of trying to do this alone and you're ready for a little help from someone who gets it, let's talk. There's no shame, no pressure. Just a simple step forward of finally getting unstuck. And as a thank you, if you're a teacher, a military, or frontline worker, I offer 10% off any coaching package. It's just a small way to honor the big work you do. So there's a link in the description to set up your free call. You don't have to figure it all out by yourself anymore. And another piece that I want to add to this is that we're meant for connection. I think in our culture today, it's like we think we have to be independent and that we shouldn't have any help. And we see this when it comes to exercise, but also if you guys are moms, we see this in sort of our mom culture that we think like we should be able to do it all. And especially for those moms who work, we have to be a mom, we have to grocery shop, we have to do it all. But to me, that's just a lie of the culture. It's not a weakness to need support, it's human. We are meant to thrive in community. We're meant to need help. So it's not a weakness to ask for help. So whether that be a coach, whether that is if you're a working mom and you want someone to come clean your house, whatever that help is, whatever that support is you need, it's not a weakness. We need that help. And we also need that connection with other people. For example, you're more likely to show up and walk if a friend is waiting for you. So I think walking is such a great thing to do with someone else. You probably have heard me talk as we moved recently. Sometimes when I make a new friend, we set up weekly walking dates. Or as I'm meeting someone, I ask, hey, let's go for a walk. Walking can be a great way to have that connection, have that community, and have that support you need. And someone who is also more likely to be like-minded too. So I want you to think, how can you surround yourself with people who get it? How can you surround yourself with people that are going to push you in the direction of your goals? How can you surround yourself with women who are walking on the same path of you? Whether that's one or two, sometimes we just need that one person in our life to help keep us focused on our why and pointing us in the right direction. So remember, friends, you are not failing. It's just really hard to do this health journey alone. And getting help doesn't make you weak. It actually makes you wise. So most of us are not stuck because we're lazy or unmotivated. We just need the right support, and we all deserve that. So even me, with all my coaching tools that I have a process I use for mindset work. I have my emotional freedom techniques. I have grown so much, but I still have a coach for me. I still know that I do so much better when I have that outside person looking at things going on in my life. So if you're tired of doing this alone, I've got some space for extra coaching clients or personal training clients where you can get a plan, accountability, and someone who truly cares about helping you feel better. All right, friends, so make sure you check the description down below for any links and extra resources that I have, and keep moving, friends. Keep taking one step forward on this health journey, and you're going to keep getting closer and closer to where you want to be.